Welcome to Jurassic Park.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Why don't we just wait here for a little while?
Do you want to know what it is?
There's no knowing where you might be swept off to.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Shepherds we shall be, for thee, my Lord, for thee.
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
There's a special rug in hell reserved for people who waste good scotch.
He peed on my rug.
He peed on the dude's rug.
Do your worst.
Final report of the commercial starship Nostromo.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Well, welcome to your feature presentation, the podcast where we bring you the latest and greatest movies in pop culture. Today, with me, my co-host and yours, Andrew McKay.
What's up, Heath?
What's
Good
up,
to see you
man?
again.
We've got a fun collab. We're talking The Wild Robot, and with us is the One-Eyed Film Podcast, Seth and Zach. What's going on, guys?
Nothing much. Just chatting with a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
Is that after us or?
Oh,
Yeah, this is a completely normal podcast, right? So, well, thanks for being on, guys. We're doing a little collab movie talk with you. So can you just tell kind of what you guys do, kind of what your podcast is all about?
yeah. So, I produce the podcast. Zach is my co-host, along with a bunch of other my friends. We're called the One-Eyed Film Podcast, based off of Matthew 5 passage, which talks about discernment and making sure that if there's something in your life that's not building you up, such as Jesus' explanation of if your eye causes you to sin, cut it out. So it's a little gruesome, but our idea is that we want to be discerning when we watch movies.
Wow.
Nothing's off the table. We just talk about it, make sure that we're more or less training others to think the same way so that we can encourage the church, even build bridges between those who don't believe and ourselves who can say, hey, this movie has a theme that is very biblically based, even if it's not directly, and we can talk about it more because of that, because it brings it down to a more understanding level rather than just read John and then you're good to go. Like there's that bridge that I think that we can use as Christians to make those connections. So that's our goal. And we talk about anything and everything we're interested in, modern movies we like from way back when, and a bunch of stuff in the middle.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Andrew, we should have had a spiritual meaning for our podcast. Oh, yeah, same. We also have a verse. And no, that's really cool. I think for me, at least, I was raised in a very conservative Christian home to where I wasn't allowed to watch like Star Wars because it was too violent. And so I kind of went the opposite way in high school. I'm like, I can watch whatever I want, and then it became, well, maybe I shouldn't watch everything, being more discerning, so that's cool. That's cool to have that kind of meaning behind it. Yeah. Me and Andrew were just kind of like, hey, we should record this conversation that we're having already. So yeah.
It's kind of how we started too. So
that's awesome. Well, today we're talking about The Wild Robot. So you guys kind of brought this movie to us. Can I just what kind of attracted you to about this movie, or what's it mean to you?
it was the moment where Zach texted me after Wild Robot released on streaming because he didn't see it in theaters, and he goes, "Dude, I almost cried." Or maybe you did cry. I forget. What did you exactly say?
I told you that the movie emotionally broke me.
Yeah. Well, okay. So even a little bit more story. We have an episode at the end of the year. We do our own movie awards. We don't really have a name for them. I think we're working on that for this upcoming year. But nice. Wild Robot won our best kids movie, and Zach was like, "I'd never seen it, so I can't say I don't have a say in this." And we're like, "Dude, you haven't seen it?" And then he saw it after that, and as you said, emotionally broke you, as in quotes, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Andrew, what'd you think? Was this your first time watching it?
Dude, it was my first time. I sobbed twice. Like,
wow.
Full blown. I was tears rolling. I was like, ooh. Yeah, it was gorgeous. I knew that it was good in like a 4 out of 5 or 3.5 out of 5 sense. Like most people that watched it liked it, but I didn't know that this was like a movie I want to own. And that's pretty rare. Like for me, as I don't own a lot of like hard copy movies or music at this point in my life. Like, but this one is like, I need to buy this because I'm going to watch this a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it was my first time watching it. I'm gonna sound like a robot, pun intended. It did not hit me emotionally, but I ran out of time, so I was watching it like on my lunch break in the car. So like disjointed. So like it didn't quite affect me, but I love this movie. This was my first time watching it, and it was such a quality thing, which I want to get into, but what a breath of fresh air. Like the characters made sense. The story had a point. Like the interactions were meaningful, like everything down the line. It was so cool. So yeah, if we want, we can just kind of go through the movie linearly. And I have a little fun trivia game for you three to play against each other.
Oh, wow.
So I chose to do DreamWorks animation trivia. So pretty niche, but it's going to be fun. And Andrew never makes a game for me, so
I don't. It's because I lose every game that he makes, so I'm spiteful.
You know, Jade is like, I would love it if someone made me a game, but whatever. You know,
You know, there are those people who are good at trivia, and then there are those people who are normal. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to think I'm normal.
I'm really good at trivia. Wait, no, I take it back. Well, sweet. So getting into this movie, the animation obviously stood out to me. Really unique. And I found it refreshing because it just felt different, but it felt like it was one of those movies that wasn't animated just for, we want to be different. It was just unique. And that really kind of stood out to me for sure.
Where's my if I had or because I have a degree in animation shirt. That's one of our, at least an older joke that I would use because I do have a degree in animation.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, sick.
And I said it a little too much that I made it into a shirt. But just coming off of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which is actually one of, it was the first movie I saw with my wife, and then it was also kind of one of the movies that kicked off the podcast, our podcast, because I went and saw it with some of my other co-host friends, and I was like, man, this would be a perfect episode just because of how beautiful it looks.
Yeah.
And Puss in Boots and The Wild Robot probably tie in pretty well with the style. It's just a little hyper realistic, and it's not quite as painterly as Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, but it definitely has moments of artistic license that's more than just a style that is consistent. There are some times when the style changes in parts of it. I'm thinking about the time when I think the sun was coming up behind Roz, and it just seemed a lot more solid lines than how actual light rays would be rendered. Maybe that's a little too nerdy, but I just can acknowledge that they added some tweaks to it to bring to manipulate your feelings visually, more than just the storytelling.
Yeah, like the scenes like that, like when the sun rises and the beams feel physical, they're like tangible because of the choice that they've made intentionally to like, okay, this is sending us a message. Like you feel that heavier, you feel, I don't know if I want to say that I'm aware of when they want me to feel something because it's just happening. Like I'm just feeling it.
You're just feeling it.
Yeah. It's like the sun becomes a character in that moment because it's so tangible because of that choice that they made, and I loved it so much.
And I feel like when they went into the first storytelling part too, they shifted it quite a bit there as well. And I'm always a big fan of that. Like, we're going to tell a story and then the animation shifts, which I love. A good story like this is they're telling you, hey, stories are important and they can affect us. And it's like, that's probably where Andrew cried. It's just like, they can't.
No, actually, we'll get to that. You'll probably.
I was gonna say I'd love to hear where all you guys teared up. Maybe just the end or something. But
I, for the record, did not tear up.
Okay. Well, hey, me and you, same page. We're the robots here, so we're the Rozes of the situation. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say too. I think with it being set in like this natural world, I think there's a real admiration for creation in that, which probably wasn't intentional on the animators. But I mean, still, whether or not the animators accept that God created the world, you can obviously tell that they still have this heart for just the natural world and for what we know as creation, just because of how beautifully and artistically they display just the sunrise, the forest, and all these natural animals in the film.
Yeah. Yeah, just like the beauty of what's made, for sure. Yeah. That's cool. Every time I watch like a good DreamWorks movie as well, I'm always reminded, like, I'm so happy that Disney has some competition because I feel like it elevates them both. Like, I feel like Disney is so upset every time DreamWorks comes out with like a banger, but it's like, it's good. And I just feel like that's a really healthy thing that I like to see for sure.
I am of the belief that DreamWorks is excelling right now in the movie industry.
Yeah.
Disney. They've had some good ones. Now, we've had our thoughts about the How to Train Your Dragon live action that's coming out.
Yeah.
Because that's their first stab at that. And also that it's kind of the only series and story that they can do that with, more or less. Everything else.
Yeah,
is
I
kind
can't
of
really do that with
animal-based.
Shrek.
No, everything else is really animal based.
Jack Black painted black and white.
He'd do it. He could do that.
You would.
So yeah, I think they have their hits and misses, but I do think that they aren't so caught up in the let's acquire every single franchise and make a boatload of money on it and run it into the ground like Disney is. So.
Yeah, they seem to definitely be like a fewer movie but quality. And I'm definitely someone who is like doesn't get excited about the live action remakes. I'm the guy who, like, I turned off Aladdin to go watch the animated version because I'm like, it's better. Like, why would I? But then it's How to Train Your Dragon. To me, it looks cool and I do want to see it. And I don't know, I'm just like, are they tricking me again? Probably, but it's still that music though.
I was just gonna say
A soundtrack.
I think that John Powell did the music for How to Train Your Dragon.
So yeah,
I think that would bring me into the theater, even if the movie was literally a boring shot for shot remake, like the entire thing in just live action, which I think would be a disservice to the movie and the opportunity. Even if it was that, just being in a theater to hear the soundtrack would be so sick. I would love that.
Yeah.
I've said it on our podcast before. When live action How to Train Your Dragon comes out, I'm going to be at home watching the original. When live action Lilo and Stitch comes out, I'm going to be at home watching the original.
Boycotting for real.
I'm not a fan of these live action remakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the concept.
I don't think
Yeah,
Ragnarok's gonna get a live action remake.
Oh no.
No way. Really?
No, I said I hope it doesn't. I don't think.
Oh, okay. I was like, already?
It's been confirmed.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal is just face painted as a fox.
Let's talk about how Pedro Pascal is in everything.
Oh my gosh. I do actually kind of love that.
Actor.
I don't
Yeah, he is.
like him in everything because it's just kind of. I thought there was another. Oh, it was Timothy Chalamet that we're just like I'm getting sick of all of the things that he's in. But I actually think that he disappears into the role of Fink for this movie, and I often forget that it's him.
Yeah.
And that's more than just you can't see his face. I just think that he plays the character well.
Yeah.
You know who does that?
I was gonna say that's the thing with DreamWorks movies, especially. I feel like you have like Ben Stiller as I forgot his name now in Madagascar. What's the character's name?
Oh, Alex Lyon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. See.
He blends into that role.
Yeah.
Jack Black blends into Poe, and Pedro blends into Fink. It's just really cool how DreamWorks especially just seems to be able to do that.
Yeah. I loved Matt Berry in this. Are you guys familiar with Matt Berry?
Was he Paddler?
Yeah.
Okay, I only wrote down that he's also the nitwit in the post-credit scene of the Minecraft movie. So
Oh, hilarious.
I didn't know that either.
yeah. So in the somebody else got my battery dead.
Oh, bummer. Yeah, no, I just love Matt Berry. I know him originally from the British version of the IT Crowd, and he is just such a funny actor. And he was in what's that vampire spoof series?
That's I know exactly what you're talking about. It has Taika Waititi and
and the guy from Flight of the Conchords.
yeah. His voice is so recognizable.
What do you mean, my tree? He's so funny. One of my favorite movie memes is someone was like, he needs to be Tom Bombadil in The Rings of Power and bring that energy. And he's like, well, what do we have here, Frodo? Oh man, I just love him. He's so funny. But yeah, I think this movie to me really was. It was really funny too. I thought the humor worked really well in it. Yeah, I love the whole, like, I'm so into that style of story too. Just like the technology meets nature, and it's just like very like almost dystopian from the robot's perspective, because it's very different landscape to what he's around.
Yeah, I found myself like keeping my options open. Or like I don't genuinely know, is this an untouched island? Is this a world, like a completely different planet where like the robot is just traveling through space and like poing and falls in? Like I didn't really care, because the story itself was the most compelling part, but I found myself just open to like whatever. And maybe we'll get to it, for it to actually turn out to be like some sort of post-civilization that we know, like that we're aware of now, I thought was like really cool. Nice little sprinkle in there.
I don't know if it was revealed earlier, but I think the first time, at least I clocked that it was a futuristic type of story, was when the geese were migrating. Yeah, and the whale swam over the flooded Golden Gate Bridge, which I think that was the first time. And I was like, whoa, this is, I mean, obviously there's a robot, but that could be modern fiction or alternate universe, but this is supposed to be the future. And there's only a few humans in it, and you see the backs of their heads. And so, there's some mystery to it as well. And I don't know if that's explored in the books or not. But
is this based off a book series?
I believe so. I don't think it,
one book, I believe.
One book? I thought I saw multiple, but they're not. I pictured them like picture books, but they're not. More storybooks with some abstract illustrations.
Oh, I thought for sure they were picture books.
I'd be into that.
I think there's 3. I see.
I'd read a picture book.
The wild robot protects and the wild robot escapes, or something like that.
Okay.
Huh, that's cool. Yeah, I was wondering, it was cool because it showed a world that was very unique, but didn't have to say anything about it. Like, I was like, those biodomes, I'm like, is that the only way humans can survive? Is that just they built that? Like, that's better ways to grow plants? Like, it was like, oh, there's a lot of questions I have, and they're just like, they didn't have to answer them, which I also appreciated, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't feel shorted by that. It seemed very like natural, like with how the technology of the robot, when you finally find out where she comes from, you're like, oh, cool, this makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
I thought the first, going back to the beginning of the movie, the first like 15 minutes, I couldn't stop laughing. Like, I was giggling through the whole thing. And I watched it with my wife, and she was like kind of looking at me like, yeah, this is, I guess it's funny. Like, she was having a good time. And I was like, oh my gosh, then she fell over. Oh, a bear? No way. Like, I was having a ridiculously good time with this movie. And when it kind of switches, when she falls down the hill, when the bear's coming after her, I believe, and she lands on the nest, we'll maybe go into this part of the movie, that, like, not genre shift, what am I looking for? The shift in, like, the vibe, when she picks up the leaf, or not the leaf, the feather, and I was like, oh, we're actually going to, like, deal with death in this movie. I thought this was going to be like a DreamWorks movie. And from then on, the amount of times that death was approached by characters or just spoken of really, really well, I was like, oh man, like, this is kind of heavy sometimes. Like, I go from giggling to like welling up with tears, like, oh, a little baby. Like,
well, I have 2 notes off of that. First was the one I wrote down, and I wrote the hilarious dark comedy of this movie.
Yeah.
Such as, like, as a mother of 7. And then yes. I think the balance between that is really good. But also, you were bringing up how DreamWorks is dealing with death, and I just immediately thought of Puss in Boots 2, which is the embodiment of death is the antagonist. And it's not a horror movie, it's just intense. And I think that it's really well done in both of those. And obviously it's not a character in Wild Robot, but I think that they're mature kids movies, and it's good to explore that, and it makes it kind of that old Disney feel of like, yes, this is a kids movie, but it's mostly an adult movie that's animated that kids can enjoy for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's really, I feel like it's very it's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Fred Rogers. That like he's like, no, kids, you should bring up these issues and be like, yeah, this is sad, this is hard, let's talk about it. Not, oh no, everything's fine, the death scene that got me in this one is when they were in the snow at the end of the movie, and like they like looked for somebody and they just like shook their head and covered. I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
And she said something like, we have to keep trying, like we have to keep going. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. But like, if I was a robot in a deserted island with animal friends, I don't know if I'd be able to keep going. Like, there's so much connection to the character, not in ways that I relate to her, but, which is weird to say, in ways that she embodies humanity as a robot, which is insane. Like, that I thought was one of the most interesting aspects of the movie, that a robot can go on a journey from stale, emotionless nothing, I have a task, and then it's over, to, no, I love you, I feel like there's something inside of me that's like, we're connected now. Like, that was really cool. I like that.
Oh yeah, ChatGPT is going to get to that point.
I feel
destruction.
Spooky. That's spooky. Speaking of the Terminator,
I love the I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys heard the joke about the, like, everyone who doesn't say thank you to ChatGPT is the one that's gonna get, like, they're gonna get all wiped out. It's like, wait, put your gun down. He said thank you.
You're on a list.
He said please.
Yeah. Hey, if it's no bother, ChatGPT, can you
no worries if not.
I love the beginning too, how it showed the robot learning the language of the animals. That was such a cool, like, sci-fi scene. I'm like, that's amazing. It's just like watching and observing and just taking all that in. That was so cool to me.
It makes it less or more believable that the animals are talking, because it's from Roz's perspective instead of just, they talk now, but it's supposed to be real. They're actually animals that would communicate somehow, but you can understand them now.
Yeah. It made me believe the suspension of disbelief for, like, oh, all animals can talk to each other, no problem. That I have to suspend, right? But the fact that they helped me by her, like, listening for so long to, like, learn the dialects and everything, I was like, it's just genius. I never would have thought of that. It's just really cool.
Seeing her, I guess, also learn to navigate and survive the island too by scanning the different ways the animals move and stuff, and seeing Roz like prance like a deer and like how to like spray like a skunk too was also really cool.
Yeah.
And I think all of that culminates in the final act of how they defeat the evil robots, was calling back to those moments where she learned all that stuff.
That's jumping ahead, but it was just like, man, it was cool to see that, like, it wasn't because she was a soldier unit, but it was because what she learned, like, taught her, like, how to act and react. I was like, that's such a cool theme. Like, it's so funny. I didn't think this movie would get me thinking this deeply, but it's like, to have a well-crafted story like this, it's like, wow, okay, this is why I feel hollow after I see Captain America 4. It's like, why is he here? It's like, because it's cool.
Yeah.
Why is he surfing on a nuke?
Yeah.
Because it's cool.
Because it's cool. So a question that I had is, I always am hesitant. I don't understand why we need celebrity voices, like A-list celebrity voices, to voice animated characters. I think Kung Fu Panda is my biggest proponent of this, because like Jackie Chan plays the monkey and he says 5 words in that movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is there a group of people that I have never talked to that's like, I went to see Kung Fu Panda because Angelina Jolie is Tigress, you know? And it seems like voice actors are so capable and I think more interesting that, I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Well, Zach, I know you're a big fan of the Clone Wars, and I've yet to get to them, but all of the voice actors for the Clone Wars just nail it so well. And I don't think they've been in that many live action movies. They just can do so much with their voice. Actually, now that I say that, I realize that I worked on a movie with James Arnold Taylor that's coming out this year. And that's going to be one about the American Revolution, where he plays James Webster. I think so. And he does it in live action. He's in the middle of a room, and he's giving his speeches about America back whenever he lived in the late 1700s. And it's just interesting to hear Obi-Wan talking like that. But it's first off, plug for that movie. It's called The American Miracle.
Nice.
But just considering that, like you said, voice actors can do so much, and we bring in people who will be like, they'll promote the movie with their face, and they'll have the behind the scenes of them in the studio and all that. But that's really what's selling it in some ways. To some person, like you said, someone's going to be like, oh, they're in this, even if I don't know how long it is. I'm only going to go see it.
Yeah.
That's why Chris Pratt was Mario and Garfield.
Oh my gosh, Chris Pratt is probably the worst offender.
Yep.
Okay, so we talked a couple minutes ago about like, oh, so and so is in everything. I feel like Chris Pratt had like an 8-year stint where he was literally every animated male character. They were like, can we get Chris Pratt for this?
Not even animated. Jurassic World and Guardians.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Yeah.
Trilogies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That's always frustrating to me too. Is like, it's laziness on people who find those actors, because it's like, why does it have to be him? It's like, yeah, he's good, but I don't know.
That's the thing about Chris Pratt is like, he will always only do Chris Pratt's voice.
Yeah.
And you hear it and you go, oh, is that Chris Pratt? And you're like, yeah, totally, that's Chris
from
Pratt.
Parks and Rec?
Right, exactly. And I think there's, back to like voice actors, when there is a celebrity actor who genuinely adopts a character and disappears into a voice acting role, it is one of the most admirable things that I can think of as far as actors entering into a project. Like, I think Zach mentioned, like, Pedro Pascal really, or maybe it was Seth, Pedro Pascal really disappears behind Fink. And he uses his voice like you can remember it's Pedro Pascal, but he adopts the character. I think one of the best A-list actors that does this is Robert Pattinson. Because he was in the Studio Ghibli movie, The Boy in the Heron. What was it called?
Yeah.
The Boy in the Blue Heron, something like that. And
The Blue Heron,
the
and the
heron.
Baby Boy.
Baby boy, blue heron.
Baby boy.
He was the heron in that movie, and you could watch the whole thing, get to the credits, and be like, Robert Pattinson was in this movie? Rewatch it, and you'd never find him, because he took on like this new character. And since learning that, there's so many movies where he just does different random accents. Even in live action movies, he presents his voice differently. If you saw Mickey 17, like, he talks way differently when he doesn't need to. And that's just something that he brings to all of his projects. He's like, I'm going to be somebody else because that's what they're paying me to do. And I think that's so cool.
I mean,
honestly, I think one of the worst cases of a celebrity voice actor was Seth Rogen in Mario.
he didn't even try.
Yeah.
Especially when he does the laugh, it just takes me out of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, Mantis and Kung Fu Panda once again are.
Which is funny because I think he blends in more as that character than he does as Donkey Kong.
For sure.
Well, and I was looking at the other cast members of Wild Robot. and I was surprised that Mark Hamill was Thorn the Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
He changed his voice so much for that that I didn't notice it was him. I would have gotten Ving Rhames as Thunderbolt the Eagle, but I didn't the first time around. I was like, oh yeah, I can hear it because I hear Thunderbolt, I hear Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got Bill Nye too.
Oh yeah. he's very distinct. Yeah.
Yeah. My wife got Bill Nye immediately. She was like, "That's the guy from."
The dead man's chest. I had a couple inspirations that I felt through this movie, and I wondered if you guys had any. But have you guys ever played the game Portal?
I've watched
Yes.
people play it.
There we go. I felt a lot of Portal vibes, Wall-E vibes, a little Over the Hedge. I think Critters as well.
Like 10 minutes in, I was like, "Did DreamWorks do Over the Hedge?"
I think it's the Possums. The Possums pretty over the head.
I think so. Too,
Yeah.
They're playing dead.
But yeah, and Mark Hamill too. I was gonna say is like, I'd almost say he's more of a voice actor than it like.
He does the
Yeah.
disappearing really well as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I guess I would say it's not even more, but he is a great voice actor. That's, because he has voices, he has characters that are very different. Yeah, Chris Pratt is an actor who, he's one of those actors, just one person. But I also didn't like Mickey 17, but watching Robert Pattinson talk to himself was like, this is a skilled person. Like, he's acting, and yeah, that was really cool. Did you guys see any inspirations that you thought of that brought mind to mind?
Seth, you can maybe answer this for me, but
How does the animation work?
how to draw? Question.
Oh, don't ask me. I actually can't. That's the funny part.
I go click, click, click.
Yeah. I feel like what really opened the door for the stylized animation to not be like, I feel like every 5 years it was like, how photoreal can we make it? How photoreal can we make this animation? And then the turning point to my non-animator eyes is a Spider-Verse movie from Sony. Sony did that incredibly stylized, very popular, very cool shift in animation. Like, hey, we can take liberties because we're animating this stuff and it can look really cool. And the animation can be a character in the story. Since then, obviously the second Spider-Verse, the Puss in Boots movie, and Wild Robot. There's an Apple TV. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was a really good one. I like that one. There's an Apple TV animated movie, Wolf something. I think that was right after the release of the Spider-Verse movie. I digress because I don't remember the name of that movie. But I feel like the floodgates are open for creative minds to attack animation, to get after different cool, interesting ways to animate. I don't know if you feel like that was a turning point, the Spider-Verse movie, or if it was somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse came out when I was in college getting my degree in animation, starting to appreciate and learn about it. But it has obviously influenced a lot of those movies, like you said. Disney was going even more into how real can we make it. I have always brought it back to Frozen 2, where the characters are still the Disney-style characters, but the environments almost look filmed. It's just so good. And there's a place for that, I think. It's just that gets boring quickly. And I think they even did that a little bit with Wish. Now, Wish was inspired by this artistic style, but it still was kind of the same Disney filter with an outline drawing over it, in my mind. And so the animation community has been like, yes, animation is not a lesser form of art. Use it in your storytelling. And I think Spider-Verse was a great catalyst for that, to push it into the idea of this is a comic. Let's tell it as a comic in different ways, in different aspects, through how a frame looks, how transitions happen, how motion is used with motion blur and stuff and all that. But I think that it is a good thing to get directors thinking in this way, not to exactly copy, to be inspired, to make things like The Wild Robot. I really love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because of how they did like some of the line work in the shadows and in the highlights were really cool for me. And that's not in any of the other ones that I saw. So they took that and made it their own.
Yeah. Just like they ask a room of animators, like, hey, how can you flex on us in this movie? And you're like, oh, I can do this cool thing.
They just got to stand out. And now it's probably even harder. What is it, 7 years after Into the Spider-Verse came out? Because they need to stand out amongst everyone who's copying Into the Spider-Verse. And there's different ways to do that.
Yeah. That's really cool. I feel like we're kind of jumping around. So if any part standing out through the movie is just like, I say just sound off on it, because I said go through linearly and I'm not at all. I'm just talking about the movie in general.
Do you guys want to know at what point I wept?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Can we guess?
Please guess. Actually,
because there was a point where I felt something. I didn't cry. There was when Bright Bill calls Ra's mom was I think one of them, and then I think Ra's said I love you at a certain point, and that was another one. Those are my two most emotional.
Okay,
I felt something.
Seth, good guesses.
4 or 5?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Zach, what's your guess for when I cried?
Was it Roz's sacrifice when she jumps out of the spaceship?
Ooh, that's a good guess. Heath, what do you think?
Oh, I got it.
Ooh.
Okay, Zach, what is it?
It was when Fink said, "I need you," at the end of the movie.
Ooh.
And then it's like, Fink's like, who am I going to talk to? And then the bear's like, you can talk to me. Dude, that scene had me like sobbing.
I did say, it's bold of you to just think that I could make it through this whole movie right to the end without crying. I cried the second time at that, who am I going to talk to? And I was like, oh. But that's not the first time. Heath?
Was it when...
Let's hear your guess, Zach. I don't have a guess.
Heath has no guess.
Was it the first time that like Bright Bill's trying to swim with the ducks, and they're all saying you don't belong and all that?
Ooh, close. So it's when she builds the runway for him and he finally is leaving. All the ducks are flying overhead. They're leaving. He has a place to belong finally, with the elder goose, and he finally gets to be a goose with all the other geese, and it's kind of at this point in the movie it was like where we wanted him to go. This was like the end ultimately, like he has a belonging. And when she, I think she said, can I send you off one last time? Like, do you need a boost one more time? And he's like, yeah. And they start running. He jumps on her shoulder and her arms are out and she's running down the runway, and he like gets some air, and then she gives him a little shoulder nudge to send him off, and he just goes. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. It's just it's so beautiful. I'm a dad. My son is only 2, but there's so much that I like from this movie that I was watching about like investing your time and love and energy into a little person that you care about so much, and then the payoff is that they fly away, and that's so sad for me. Like, what do you mean the payoff is that they have somewhere else that they belong to? They have other people that they belong to. That's not what I want, but that's what is necessary, and it wrecked me. Yeah.
That's the burden of all true masters, Andrew, that they grow. They grow beyond. I'm quoting The Last Jedi, if you guys aren't familiar. So
I have not watched that since it came out.
Oh man,
that's not a bad way to live your life. But that elder. So I think he was called Longneck, Bill Nye's character. Oh yeah, his sacrifice was.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just remembering moments that made me cry.
Yeah. Hey, that's great. You're our emotional connection to this movie. I thought his character was really cool because that was so easily that's the old cranky guy that's like, you'll never fly with us. And he's like, actually, I've been watching you. And he has a chance. Like that was really cool to me. Like they kind of changed it up in that role. Yeah, that was really cool. And it's like, it's a cheesy line that I love is there's the length of the wing and then there's how far the heart goes or something like that. I'm probably butchering that, but like, man, that really stood out because like, yeah, it's about the heart and the heart, if your heart's more in it, you can go farther than someone even with, you know, that's cool.
I mean, you guys have brought up scripture several times. That kind of mentality reminds me of 1 Timothy chapter 4, I think. 1 or 2 Timothy. This talks about don't let anyone look down on you because of your age. Like, you can preach the word, you speak the truth, all that kind of stuff. And that's the vibe of Longneck. He's like, dude, your physical capability doesn't matter. What really matters is like the drive that's in here, that you know, I belong here, I should be here, I can push through this. So Longneck is the Apostle Paul.
Whoa.
Basically.
Well, he's probably more Stephen because he, meets his fate.
Stephen.
But
You're right. That's a good point.
Yeah. We haven't really talked about it, but the also, I don't think I've ever heard the word Gosling more in my life. Just like the Gosling. Like,
is Ryan in this movie?
I was gonna say I've heard it a lot because of Zach.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, the Starfighter, right? So he's gonna be doing some fancy stuff here.
Yeah. Oh, I just assumed Zach was super into like birds.
Big bird guy.
He just can't shut up about those goslings.
Birdologist.
I don't know. I forgot what the proper term is. So you can just call me a birdologist.
But I like how it was super interesting the way that Gosling was like raised, that he was more robot-like. He's like, affirmative. Like, it was so interesting and like it was just
hello,
funny.
Fellow goslings.
That was great.
I got a lot of young Shia LaBeouf vibes from him, like Shia LaBeouf in Surf's Up, and young. I forget the Gosling's name. That's embarrassing.
Right, Bill?
Yeah. Those seemed like similar acted characters to me, so that like felt a little at home. Yeah, that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
I haven't
cool.
seen Surf's Up in so long.
Oh, it's a great one.
I just watched it 4 weeks ago for like the first time. I was told, like, how have you not seen this? Yeah.
This one's called Brittany. You know why we call her Brittany, don't you? Never mind. Don't worry about it. Jessica, Tiffany.
Yeah, that was a great movie too. I did think too at the end, all I could think about with like all the love stuff is Seth, to your Back to the Future talk. It's like the power of love would have been a perfect song to play at the end of this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I think we should do a little game.
Nice.
A little trivia game. So this is your feature presentation style. So all three of you are in on this, and whoever shouts out the correct answer first gets the point. So Andrew, prepare to...
I'm going to be behind in like by 2 full seconds.
Yeah. Last time we did this, it was 5 minutes. The next question, he was answering the one previously. So. It wasn't lag. He likes to say it was.
I'm just slow.
Yeah, just slow. Okay, so these are all questions kind of focused in DreamWorks animation. All right. What was DreamWorks' first animated movie?
Ants.
Prince of Egypt?
Zach.
Zach got it.
Wait, what did
Ants.
Zach say? What's the answer? Oh,
Ants.
That's a crazy movie.
It's the ants.
I just looked it up previously while we were recording this podcast. So it's only
Cheater.
I didn't intentionally cheat. I promise.
Yeah. Well, I texted him the answers.
Yeah. Keith is feeding Zach the questions.
Yeah, I was like, hey, we haven't met yet, but here are the answers.
Now that I'm looking it up, Prince of Egypt only released 2 months after Ants, so gotta at least give Andrew a little bit
Pretty
of
close. And it was probably in the works for longer, so that's a
true.
good point. All right.
Great one.
In Shrek, what does Shrek compare ogres to?
Onions.
Boom.
I have not seen Shrek in a long time.
Ogres are like onions.
I haven't seen Shrek.
Oh,
Stinky and nobody likes them. No layers.
it's a good one. What is the name of the dragon that falls in love with Donkey in Shrek?
Princess.
No.
It's not princess. Is it dragon?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
In Kung Fu Panda, what is the name of the wise old tortoise?
Oogway.
Yeah.
Zach, I thought you were gonna let that one run off.
I'll tell you, I only know that one because Oogway's Ascension is a song on a playlist that I have.
Okay. And also, a scene I cried at is his.
Yeah.
My time has come. Like, oh my gosh. All right. What type of animals are the main characters in Madagascar?
Lion, hippo, giraffe, zebra.
Zoo animals.
Yeah. Both are correct. Zoo animals.
Oh, okay.
I think Seth got it.
I mean, lion, zebra, giraffe, hippo, and penguins.
You like rattled that off really quick. So.
That one I watched a lot more.
In How to Train Your Dragon, what is the name of Hiccup's dragon?
Toothless.
Toothless.
Yeah. All right. Which DreamWorks movie features a snail who dreams of being a racer?
Turtle.
I was gonna say Speed.
Andrew, who do you think got that one? Not you.
I think it was Zach.
Okay.
I think it was Zach. Yeah.
On my end, it sounded pretty close, but in Prince of Egypt, who are Moses and Ramses to each other?
Stepbrothers. Don't touch my drum set.
No, I would say stepbrothers personally, but okay, who said stepbrothers first?
I said real brothers.
Real brothers.
I said
biblically.
stepbrothers. Yeah.
All right. Adoptive brothers is the answer that was.
Yeah, I didn't mean they're real.
Whatever.
All right. In Megamind, what is the name of Megamind's loyal sidekick?
Minion.
Yeah. In The Croods, what is the name of the father voiced by Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage.
I've never seen Croods, actually.
I know the daughter.
It's like Ugg or something.
Very close.
Erg.
You're so close. You could probably fumble into it. It's Grug.
Rug.
Love it, Seth. That's great.
Nice, Seth.
All right. Halfway done.
Ooh.
Andrew 4, Seth 4, Zach 3. We are still
Crushing me.
we're still tight. Okay. What is the name of the secret agent organization run by the animals in Penguins of Madagascar? It's the code
I
name.
don't think I've seen that movie.
3, 2, 1 penguins.
Zigil, Vigil, and Kevin.
I don't know. The CIA.
We'll skip that one. It's the North Wind.
Oh. No.
In Trolls, what song do Poppy and Branch sing to save the other trolls?
Roar.
Stop the feeling.
No.
Neither.
Okay. True Colors.
Oh.
In Shark Tale, what kind of fish is Oscar?
He's a rainbow fish. No.
I'll start it. A cleaner.
Fish.
A cleaner fish.
I don't know how to say this. I was hoping someone could say it. Race. WRASSE. Apparently it's a fish.
Oh.
In Puss in Boots, who are the two characters who betray Puss?
The first one.
Yeah.
Dumpty. It's one of them.
Humpty Dumpty and
Looking for two people.
It's the female cat, whatever her name
I said Kitty Southpaws, but I don't know if that's it.
In the first one, 2011, Puss in Boots.
Yeah, I'm guessing. I didn't watch it.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Good guess. Jack and Jill.
Oh, dang.
Okay. In Bee Movie, what is the profession Barry B. Benson originally trains for before leaving the hive?
Honey jockey or something.
Onyx worker. Yeah, making honey.
Did I get that?
No.
Is it? Ah, dang it. Chicken
Okay.
jockey.
A chicken jockey? Okay, in 2005, DreamWorks film features an underground city populated by slugs, bugs, and rodents called...
Flushed Away.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
I love that movie. In Kung Fu Panda 2, what is the main villain Lord Sven's, probably not pronounced that way, weapon of choice?
A sword. For a more specific
A
answer.
staff.
No.
His fists.
A fury.
Dobushi finger hold.
Knives. Is that the answer?
No.
I'm struggling to remember this.
Cannons. Cannons.
Really?
Answer.
There are cannons in Kung Fu Panda 2?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay. In Home, the name of the alien race that invades Earth
Purple
is...
guys.
Yeah. Who said boob? Is that
you-
Seth?
How did you do that?
The only thing I remember from that movie is, can I come into the out now?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Only thing I remember.
All right. 2 more questions left. It's 5-3. Okay. In How to Train Your Dragon 2, what is the special ability does Toothless develop?
It's like a sonic yell. Scream.
Maybe.
It's like an energy blast from his mouth.
It's the alpha thing, and you're able to lead the dragons, isn't it?
a plasma torpedo, I believe is what they refer to it. So
That's exactly what I was going to say.
yeah. What DreamWorks animation movie is based on the comic strip by Berkeley Breath? I should have read this before. Brethard?
Tintin?
No.
Read the question one more time.
What DreamWorks animation movie is based on a comic strip by Berkeley?
Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
No.
Ah, there was a comic strip, I thought.
I'll give it to no one. Opus and Bill.
Oh, never heard of that.
I've never even heard of that movie.
Well, there was a dud. I apologize for ending on that one. But Andrew and Seth are tied at 5. Zach, is there a question you'd like to ask these two on any topic to clinch the victory?
Dang it.
Any trivia question you want.
I'm zoning in.
Zach, we've been friends for a long time, buddy.
I should have a question. I'm totally blanking right now.
Star blank is my favorite movie.
Trick question, Battlestar Galactica.
It's right. Battlestar Galactica is the answer.
Let me look something up real quick.
This will be interesting. Seth, do you win a lot of trivia games?
No, I said I'm
Me?
normal, not...
I know, me either. I'm totally normal. I only have one sword in this room, one helmet. Oh, you got one, Zach?
Here's a question inspired by the map behind me.
Oh, no.
Who plays Nickabrick in Prince Caspian?
It's the little mouse, isn't he?
Nope. Rick's the dwarf, but not the Peter Dinklage one. There's like 5 dwarf actors.
The guy, is it the guy who plays Wicket
It is.
in Star Wars?
Oh, he's close.
Paul or George?
Ringo.
Ray.
John.
I'm gonna give it to Andrew.
Stephen Williams. I don't know. Who is it?
Question. It's Warwick Davis.
Warwick.
Starring Warwick Davis.
I was close with George.
Awesome. Well, good trivia. Andrew barely wins. This is your first trivia win. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, my first one. Wow.
Awesome. Well, jumping back to The Wild Robot, I am out of notes, but one more thing I'd love to say about it is I love this movie, the fact that all of these characters mattered. There was no character, like even, we talked about the beaver character. It was like he was chipping away at that tree the whole time, and like that was the climax of the movie, had that. And like the possum mom, like all these characters were just really well done, and they had a point and a purpose. I just thought that was really good. So this doesn't have to be a short section, but like, what's your kind of guys' final thoughts on the movie in general? Anything else you just wanted to say about it?
Zach, what's our catchphrase for the end of our, not catchphrase, but what is our question?
The question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first to give these guys some backstory on our final question.
Ooh.
So Seth did an interview with Paul AC from Plugged In, if you're familiar with Plugged In. And one of the things that Paul AC said he looks for in movies is God's fingerprints. Just kind of see like where you see something that can tie into our faith or just the Bible and all that. So a question that, at least whenever I'm on the podcast, Seth usually forgets to ask it otherwise, is where do you see God's fingerprints in this movie?
While you guys think about that, I got my answer because I knew Zach was going to bring it up. Or I would force him to bring it up. The animals in the hut, when they're all surviving the winter, reminded me of how the church should operate. Because so often different denominations are going to butt heads. And there's obviously room for discussion about certain topics. But all too often it ends up being getting at each other's necks to try and be better or survive, I guess, in the Wild Robots case. But when you realize that we're all in it together, more like, I was going to make a High School Musical reference, but I don't feel
We're all in this together.
I was going to say, we were all thinking it too.
No, but to have understanding and to realize that we're not enemies. We just see things differently, and that's okay. Some people are going to have some things right. Some people are going to have other things right, and we can just discuss and continue to be formal and cordial with each other, and not have to be always antagonistic. So that's what I thought when I saw that, and then I'm all calming down and then eventually helping out.
Man.
Well, I guess I saw God's fingerprints with just kind of like the nature versus technology. And it reminded me of how with the Nephilim, you have these days of Noah.
That's your vocal inflection when you started.
You knew it was not serious.
I was like, oh, this is the joke. And then you got a sentence in, and I was like, it's not a joke?
It's not a joke. It totally is. No, my wife said, don't talk about the Nephilim. And I'm like, these guys know blurry creatures. It might come up. Yeah, I am for sure. Andrew's a regular Christian, but
that's I'm a high school Bible teacher.
No, I guess similar, as I do see that as a putting down of hostility. And I thought that was really cool. Just like, that whole part in the hut specifically. And I do see that as the nature versus technology being a spiritual thing for sure. And seeing even it from like a Tolkien perspective, very much the Ents versus, Saruman and that kind of thing. But yeah, just creation in general, like we saw for sure at the beginning.
Well, yeah.
And hey, Andrew, don't do anything funny, man. Keep it serious. Okay?
No jokes.
No jokes. Come on. Not the place.
Sorry, I'm not an idiot. No. I think of like a really profound subversion of expectation. That you connect the animals with humanity pretty early on because they're living creatures, and like Heath was talking about with technology, or just anytime we see robots, when our expectations are subverted and we get a piece of, because we're on this topic, I guess you could say the image of God or humanity, what have you, coming from something that you didn't expect it to, that seems very much like God. That seems like Yahweh to bring about himself in a way that you did not anticipate. And I'm going to giggle about this later, talking about like God showing himself through Roz the robot in The Wild Robot. But it's there. Like those like you guys said, those pieces of us, whether we acknowledge or not, kind of make it into our creative outlets regardless. So that's a good question. I like that question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll also add too, the search for purpose from Roz's standpoint, I think would be even more powerful. But yeah, I think Zach, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say my answer, I think, is the ongoing theme throughout the movie of kind of the unexpected and the outcasts being the ones to like do great things.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And just really how that relates to our faith and what we see God and Jesus do throughout all of the Bible. Like even, for example, Seth and I were just in a Bible study on Sunday where we were talking about how the Samaritan woman was the one to like preach the gospel to her or tell everyone in her village about Jesus when she was an outcast of poor reputation, but still Jesus chose to use her to do that. And like in Wild Robot, we see that with Roz and Bright Bill, with Roz becoming first being seen as like a monster to all these animals, but still, despite that, she still ends up caring for them and doing what she can to protect them. And eventually they come to accept her, even though they originally viewed her as a monster. And then with Bright Bill, I mean, already being a runt, but then raised by a robot as well, that made him such an outcast among his own kind. But seeing him get trained and everything and then just become this leader among the geese like that, like that's another moment that really had me tearing up, is when they come back after the migration, seeing all these geese that were the ones picking on him before and tell him he'll never belong, seeing them the one like throw him in the air and cheer him on. That got me. But yeah, just the ongoing theme there of the outcasts being the greatest heroes.
Yeah. And even just how his every time you guys talk, I'm like, man, there is so much of that in this movie, that the fact that all the hardship that Bright Bill went through was a purpose for him to like lead. And it's just like he probably hated that he was an orphan and like all that kind of stuff, all those hardships. But then I was like, oh, that was someone, like he was being refined to be what was needed. And I was like, man, that's such a cool thing. Sweet. Well, any other final thoughts? Anything else we got?
Oh, great movie.
I think so.
Great movie. Well, I love it. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, talking about children's movies like this, or movies
Yeah.
that are typically considered for children, it makes me think of the C.S. Lewis quote, "Someday you'll be old enough to start reading fairy tales again." And how, like, these are movies you originally enjoy as kids, and then some point you just kind of think, oh, they're just dumb kids movies. But then as you watch them later, you're like, oh, there's actually all these deep things. And I think that's what C.S. Lewis was saying back then about fairy tales, but I think that relates to movies like Pixar movies today now, or movies like this, Wild Robot, even I would say Kung Fu Panda. I mean, Seth knows I have a big heart for the Kung Fu Panda franchise.
Yeah, it's great.
So deep, and so there's such mature themes in those and in Wild Robot, and I think you have to accept the story to really find that depth in those themes in them.
Yeah. Andrew knows I have nothing to say right now, so.
He loves C.S. Lewis.
No, my daughter's name is Lucy, after Lucy Pevensey from Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And yeah, that dedication to the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in the front. It's like, hey, I'm sorry, you're going to be too old for fairy stories, but someday you'll be old enough to enjoy them again. It's like, that is such a powerful thought. Love it. Well, I love it. Could you guys kind of push what you do and where to find you, like where people can listen to the pod and socials, all that stuff?
Yeah, so One Eyed Film Podcast, almost everywhere. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, if you can.
Nice.
But
Still working on the MySpace.
and yeah, right away on Spotify. I think we're a unique enough name that you find us right away. We're pulling back a little bit for now because of workload of how much podcast goes, but we're still being consistent. And yeah, you can find us everywhere, and hopefully we'll get some new family in the One-Eyed team from being a part of this podcast. So thank you for inviting us.
Oh, of course. Thanks for being on, guys. Yeah, go check out the One-Eyed Film Podcast and Zach's fan page of the the Ninjas Are Butterflies. Yeah, it's cracking me up, man. It's so good. All right, Andrew, take us home.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always for watching, for listening. You can find our show anywhere you get podcasts. You can see the full video show on Spotify and YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and also on Spotify. We like those too. We post almost daily reels, probably 5 to 7 in a week, and drop comments in those. Give us some topics or comments on things we're talking about. Some more fuel for the podcast fire. We love to interact with those who listen and follow. So, as always, go see a movie.
Go see a movie.
Drink.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.